Standards. How do you show them to men and have you respect them for them and want to comply to them? So this is one of the massively key areas in respect and attraction, and it's an area I'm so passionate about because seeing women learn how to do this and know how to do this gives them such confidence, and it gives my clients such confidence that I absolutely love this area. And it starts at the very beginning. It starts with text messages. So today I'm going to run you through a few examples of how to show your standards over text at the very beginning when you're first meeting a guy, because already that's when guys are sussing you out and seeing what your standards are and how to apply these philosophies. I'm going to do more videos on this right throughout the dating after that. So to begin, this is not calling a guy out. Okay, I've got a video on calling a guy out and how to call a guy out. I'll put the card to that and the link in the description. This is not about calling out a guy who's wronged you. This is just about putting standards in place with men who are starting to test you a little bit. Now, men will do this and they won't even know they're doing it. A lot of the time, they're just feeling you out. It's human nature to feel out our matches, to feel out their quality, to feel out their confidence. And much of this is even subconscious. So it's important that you know how to respond to it in the right ways. Okay, so I had a previous video on how to show your standards, and I talked about playfully applying your standards. So playful is a great way to start applying your standards. I'm going to show you examples of how to do this today. Now, sometimes playful doesn't do the job. Sometimes with persistent men, playful can get walked over. And there was a couple of comments on my how to tell a guy you're not having sex video with Jamia that I'll post a link to that in the card in the description. There was a couple of comments, no, you need to be more serious with guys. Sometimes you do. So if playful doesn't work, you need to go to level 2, which is calm, confident. The calm, confident woman states her standards, she states them firmly, it's in a friendly enough way, and it's clear that this is my boundary, you're at it now, stop. Playful's where you start, and then you go to calm, confident. And the final level is serious. This is when you really, you put your hammer down on the situation, you seriously, not so much call someone out as you say, this is how it is, take it or leave it, no. So that's the standards ladder. Now, the mistake that a lot of women make applying standards is they jump too far up the ladder too soon because they're not that confident at being relaxed and playful about it. If I ask you straight over to my place and you jump down my throat for it, hey Mark, how dare you ask me that? Oh my God, I have standards, damn it. How dare you? You should ask me out. You should have some respect. I'm just going, whoa, what's with the attitude? Is she damaged? What's going on here? So you always want to start with playful. Let's go through some text examples on how to do that. How to show your standards. Playful, calm, confident, serious. Let's say the guy texts you an unnecessarily deep question. Something like, tell me one of your biggest fears or one of your biggest insecurities. This is obviously a ridiculous question to be asking over text. And even though the one about fears is not necessarily a bad question and it doesn't make him a bad guy, it's not a conversation you're going to be having over text. This is an early spot where you need to show what your standards are and that your standards here are call me, invite me out, or don't even bother. So, playfully applying your standards. He says, what's your biggest fear? Tell me one of your biggest fears. You say, haha, gourd. You ask deep questions over text, don't you? I'd enjoy discussing this, so why don't you give me a call and we can chat. XX. Perfect, playful, great text. Level 2, calm, confident. Let's say he keeps pestering you, now you've got to go up a level. You say to him, as I said, this is something I'd want to talk about over the phone or in person only. Done, simple, calm, confident. And if the guy's still pestering you for an answer over text, and usually you would have lost interest in him by now, but if for some reason you still like him, that's when you go to level 3, serious, which would be, this is way too deep to discuss over text, either call me or stop asking. That's it. Playful, calm, confident, serious, an example of how to have that grade and apply your standards over text. Let's have a look at another example. Say a guy keeps telling you how attractive you are online, how beautiful you are. The first time it's really nice. The third or fourth time it's getting pretty old, even if the guy is attractive. He sends you another text, gosh, you're gorgeous. You reply with playful, level 1. Haha, if you keep saying that, my head's going to explode. Honestly, as lovely as that is, you should ask me out and tell me in person. Great, playful, what a brilliant, effective text to put in place your standards in a relaxed manner. Now let's say he says it again the next day. It's time to go to level 2, calm, confident. Honestly, every guy online says that. You should ask me out and tell me in person. Done. Great, calm, confident. You've stated what you want and you're not being bitchy or rude about it whatsoever. And as I said, with level 3, you wouldn't often need to go with serious. You're going to be disinterested more often than not with the guy at this point, and getting serious over text is generally a no-no anyway. But something along the lines of, hey, it was nice of you to say that at first, but now it's just making me uncomfortable. Please stop, would be a way to put your standards in place over text in a serious way if this guy continues this same annoying habit. All right, final example. Let's have a look at one of the classic frustrations women come to me with. The guy that says hi, or hey, or just how's it going, or just sends you text without any content. Everyone hates this and everyone's frustrated by it. What if you actually like the guy? What if you actually want him to step up and put a bit more effort in? Well, again, start with number 1. The playful text, you must really like me. You say that a lot. Is a great way to just call him on the stupidness of what he's doing. Hi, question mark, exclamation mark. Send me something interesting, you doofus, XX, is another great playful text that shows that, hey, I'm not accepting this, but I'm also relaxed and playful about it. You could go with the classic Matt Hussey, hi, with an exclamation mark, or you could kind of take that sarcastic and comical tone where you call him out. Something along the lines of, wow, that was the deepest and most meaningful text I've ever received. You've changed my life. Thank you. Makes fun of the situation and what he's doing and points out that his texting style is ridiculous. Now, if he keeps it up, you go to level 2, calm, confident. Yo, what's with this hi business? You're gonna have to text me something interesting. Or hey, I think you can be a bit more creative than that. Or maybe you should just call me X. Great, simple, calm, confident texts that get the message across, hey, I want you to step up and I'm not accepting this. Finally, I don't know why you'd go to serious with a guy who just keeps texting you hi, but if you really like him for some reason, you could send him the more serious text. Call me if you're interested, I'm not a texter. And that's the progression. That's playful, calm, confident, serious in 3, I can't even count, common examples of text that you'll receive from guys. So what's your one? Have you had one that you want to know how to put your standards in place playfully over text and then maybe how to progress it? If you'd like to see a part 2 to this video, let me know. Put your text or just request it in the space below. Pop it right down below. I'd love to create another video on this. I think standards is just the most important concept to gain respect, keep attraction, keep the guy qualifying himself to you. And that's the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know, as I say, your thoughts and comments in the area below. Give the video a thumbs up and hit that big red subscribe button with the little bell. Make sure you hit it so you get all the notifications. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video really soon.